Ugh. I might regret this later, but if I don't say anything, I'll explode. So, here we go. It has been a long, long time since I loved a movie as much as I loved Fury Road. So when I heard it was getting a comic, hey, cool, George Miller story credit, and hey, art by Tristan Jones. I really like him. I was excited. Furiosa was the best character in the movie. The wives were guaranteed to play a bigger role. I really like these characters. I was excited to see more of them. Then it actually came out. And I want to talk about the worst thing in it. And no, it's not the rape. The rape is bad, but let's not pretend like it's surprising or like it doesn't have a place here. I mean, if you saw the movie and you're not stupid, then you understood what happened to the wives in that vault. The difference is that the movie felt like it didn't need to throw their pain and humiliation in your face in order for you to understand that, hey, baths or no baths, being a sex slave kind of sucks. When someone scrawls, "We are not things" on the wall, and then makes it clear that they'd rather throw themselves from a moving monster truck than return to you, if you aren't a complete drooling moron, you're not gonna wonder, gee, that apartment looked really nice. What are they running away from? I mean, they get baths whenever they want. What's a little rape compared to that? But hey, just in case you are one of those drooling morons, here's the comic to tell you in no uncertain terms, hey, I know that apartment was really nice, but just in case you were wondering if being a sex slave is bad, here's several violent, abusive scenes just to drive the point home, just in case you were wondering. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I am, but not by much. I mean, here's the writer Mark Sexton's explanation for the comic's content. If you understood why the wives wanted to escape, then the story did what we wanted. It wasn't all tea parties and knitting booties up in the dome. No, it was also rape. And it makes me sad because I adored the wives as characters. I love that they each had their own distinctive personalities and contributed to the film in a unique way. I was looking forward to seeing more of them. Here, the best thing you can say about them is they inspire pity. That's their main purpose. They are there so you can feel sorry for them. The movie didn't ask you to pity them. The movie instead let you get to know them as people, because it understood that once you like a person, their fate will matter to you, regardless of how much you have or have not seen them suffer. It's like the comic is worried that without the constant and unrelenting rape and abuse, the wives might not be justified in wanting to be free. It's like, best answer is that the use of institutionalized rape by Immortan Joe is not only central to the story, but without it, the story could be viewed as merely a bunch of young, spoilt girls whining about being kept in relative luxury by an older man who's concerned with their safety. Not really much room for dramatic tension there. Hear that? Old Joe was a nice guy who just locked women in a vault because he was concerned about their safety. Well, obviously not, but they are worried that you might think that. Catfight. He had to rape them all the time, like from a narrative point of view, because if you have books and baths and lots of clean water to drink, I mean, you are a young, spoilt girl if you also want your freedom. Like what Joe really did wrong wasn't keeping a harem of sex slaves prisoner for his use, it was keeping a harem of sex slaves prisoner for his use and also being super mean to them. Like if he had just been a little nicer or a little more apologetic about all the rape, I mean, maybe they could have learned to just, deal. So yeah, the wives are basically just there to get raped and be sad and talk about how being raped makes them sad and how, oh, I'm having my rapist baby. Oh, well, maybe I don't want to do that. Oh, yes, you do! You do want your rapist baby!
Oh my god, you're right! Why wouldn't I? Oh, what was I thinking? I'm not some baby murderer!
Yep, Furiosa, the greatest feminist hero since Ellen Ripley, pimp slaps a woman for not wanting to have her rapist child. By the way, no, we aren't told exactly why Furiosa gives two shits what happens to Joe's rape baby, but it's pretty obvious if you go with the conventional wisdom that Furiosa is sterile, which is why she's all like, I can't make babies, which means you must make the babies. You must protect that precious little fetus, no matter where it came from, or who it will remind you of forever and ever and ever. It's obvious that no one rises to the level that Furiosa rose to in the army of a guy like Joe without doing some really bad things, like some unforgivable things. Naive little me, I assumed that that was actually what the comic was going to be about. I thought that it was going to be about some of the terrible things she's had to do and how she decided that, well, this is how she's possibly going to redeem herself. If she feels guilty for anything except all the abuse the wives suffered while she stood by and did nothing, it's never implied anywhere. The one hint we have that she might even slightly be unhappy in her position is that when Capable expresses a desire to be like her, she goes, no, you can be better. What the hell does that mean? Better soldier? Better person? Is she of the opinion that you can't be a good warrior and be a good person? And why would she think that? What does she mean? Oh, we don't know. No one can be bothered to ask her because, you know, when you're locked in a vault with nothing to do but talk for all day, there's just things you aren't going to get around to asking. You know, I've got a sneaking suspicion that it's because Capable can be a mom, and being a mother is just generally better than being a warrior. You'd think somebody from a tribe called the Many Mothers knew that you didn't have to pick one or the other. You can bear kids and bear arms at the same time. Lots of women do it, like, even now. Instead, it's about how she, a battle-scarred, hard, and almost emotionally deadened warrior, eventually came to pity those poor little puppies that Joe just insisted on kicking when she was around. I mean, sure, they were stupid, and they snarled at her, and they sulked a lot, but they made such sad noises when he hit them. Sorry, I hate to break it to you. That's not redemption. That's not even sympathy or compassion. That's pity. She pities them. She feels bad that they are in pain, and that makes her feel bad. Pity is not the same as sympathy. Pity is what you feel for, like, some starving child in India that you've never met. Sure, the child could be a brat, but the fact that he's starving to death still makes you feel bad. Because pity isn't about the person you're feeling sorry for. It's about you. It's about what you are proving to yourself about your own values. This is what makes pity different from compassion. Furiosa never connects to these wives as people. She spends months in a room with them without getting to know them, like them, or respect them. In fact, she kind of thinks they are selfish, spoiled, ungrateful little baby killers. But still, you know, I mean, you torture and rape them in front of her enough times, and she'll eventually feel bad for them. She can't find it in herself to like them, but she'll pity them. She'll stop you from kicking the puppy. It's not that she really likes the puppy, or even that she dislikes you. You know, she just can't take the noise anymore. I guess Mad Max Pity Party wouldn't have had the same ring to it. But that's not the worst part. Really, the worst part actually isn't the rape. I know it's hard to believe, but it's not. The worst part isn't even the stuff about how, oh my god, we've got to escape before the evil man rapes the one virgin in our group, because, you know, the instant she's been pierced by his penis, she will be poisoned and ruined forever. And this is a thing that we as women believe. Yeah, that's also not the worst part. The worst part isn't the female cattiness or the fact that the women have to be mean and catty and blaming each other for their problems instead of, oh, I don't know, blaming Joe before apparently they've suffered enough for it to be believable that they would want to work together. Yeah, because if there's one person I want to take off into the wilderness with, it's the one who has watched me get raped multiple times and done nothing to intervene. Let's go start a new society with that person! Which, by the way, is something even Max and Furiosa didn't need to have happen. I mean, he is a certified member of the evil, abusive male gender, apparently, and yet she found a way to get him to work with her that didn't require getting him to feel sorry for her. All of that is bad. And if I started, I'd never stop, so I'm not even gonna start. If you really want my opinions in detail, you can ask me. Worse than all of that, the single worst thing this comic does, they flat out say that Furiosa envies the wives. She envies them. She thinks that they are selfish and ungrateful. She tells them they have so much to look forward to because Furiosa, this Furiosa, if given a choice, would rather have the regular baths and the books to read than the wheel of a war rig, a whole squadron of warriors under her command, and the respect of the people around her. This is the worst part. She would rather be a warlord's fuck toy in a luxurious cage than feared and admired for her actual abilities and talents. This is what she is. This is what she would like to be. This is what she wants. This, in my opinion, is the greatest crime of this comic. This is why it fails on a fundamental level. Fuck you. I would appreciate it if I never have to do another rant like this ever again.